Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Cactus Patch. My name is GlitchedCactus, but you can call me Cactus, and joining me on this episode are the winners of this past weekend's Big Dapple 4 held by Metro Inc. at Brookland in Brooklyn, New York. So guys, feel free to take it away. Tell us a little about yourselves, who you are, what you do in the community, and maybe a fun fact.
Sure. I guess I will start. My name is Cool. You may know me from Cherry Limeade back when I was on that team. That was my first competitive team, and since then, I've been kind of just roaming around in comp, just trying out some stuff. This is actually one of the first pickup groups I've done in competitive, so it's been quite the ride.
I'll go next then. I'm B. I play on Team Mutiny. Yeah, I don't know. I've been playing comp for, I guess, almost a little over a year. Yeah, like a year and a half or something. 2 years now. Okay, 2 years. My wife said 2 years.
Okay,
Hi.
I'll go.
Oh,
I'll go next, or you gonna go
you can
next,
go.
Nick?
You can
Okay,
go.
sure. Hello, I'm Zenki. I play for Volatile Radiance, the Hofstra University Splatoon team. This is my second pickup that I've done. First pickup in Splatoon 2, haven't gone very far there. But for the second pickup, I thought it was quite a long ride. Very difficult at times, but we made it there. Fun fact, I guess, would be I'm a caffeine addict. Can't function without it.
Oh, we're
love
doing
it.
fun facts. I didn't know that.
It's okay. We can loop back around. We can loop back around for them.
I don't. Well, now I gotta think of a fun fact. I don't know.
It could be literally anything. Don't worry.
Oh God.
Hi, my name is Squidnick. I'm just a Nintendo collector and gamer. And fun fact, I handshook the ex-president of Nintendo back in 2017.
Whoa.
That's actually a really
That's
cool fun
cloud.
fact. Yeah.
That's pretty rad. Yeah.
That's
That's
pretty
dope.
close. That's a
That is
lot of
really
clout.
cool.
Subtle flex. Okay, okay. See you. All right. Do we
I have
wanna...
okay, wait,
You
I
got a
have a
fun
fun
fact?
fact.
Okay.
Okay, fun fact. Honeybees communicate by dancing. They waggle their butts and walk around in a circular motion to communicate both direction and like flight time in order to find food sources and new nests.
Wait, it's actually a dope fact.
Yeah,
Like they're
it's super
dancing.
cool. And then they vote on it. Like when they're trying to pick out a new location for a hive, they like literally vote on it by like they'll like watch another honeybees dance, and then if they like it, they'll just start doing the dance as well. And then when like most of like the hive that's leaving is doing the same dance, they just like take off.
Yeah, it's
Average
so cool.
conversation in the bee residence.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of may the bees raise hands, may the bees jiggle.
Yeah, may the bees get down with it.
Oh my god.
I love it. All right, cool. So this is Phantom Eels. So obviously, first things first, let's start off with the obvious. Congrats on the win. Obviously, you guys played incredible. As someone who had the privilege of going against y'all in grands, you guys played so well, so coordinated. Definitely seemed like you guys had like just a structure and were locked in. So definitely major congrats for winning Big Dapple 4. I'm sure you guys feel amazing about that.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been riding that high since.
Yeah, it's been an interesting experience to say the least. That's for sure. I think going into it, we weren't really at the highs, but I think after pools, I think we were like definitely feeling something. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely a weird start. Especially, oh my god, at the venue the speakers were so loud when I first got there, and I
That's
like
right, yeah.
I had a migraine, and then I get like a sound overwhelmed really easily, and I was just like trying not to have a panic attack, like just trying to warm up on handheld because like Wave A was still going, and I was like, ah.
Oh yeah, that's right. With wait, that's right. The wait. I'm glad they gave us some time though. They gave us some prep time to like
Yeah.
warm up, which I'm glad
Mhm.
they gave us a
Definitely.
little bit of leeway with. Because if they didn't, that would have been so stressful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Definitely,
honestly.
definitely, weirder at the other events when it came down to that, since it was either you got like no time to prep or you just immediately moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you like
Yeah.
make your own if you can, then it's like wraps either way.
Find a little corner in the venue to just like hop on your Switch and practice a little bit.
Literally.
No, we still
Yeah,
do that.
it felt way better to be in wave B this time because I feel like we were often in like the first wave at other Big Dapples, and then
Mhm.
there's just that big gap, and then just hopping right into bracket, and I'm just like, I'm not on point right now. I'm not locked in. I'm not locked in yet. Wait.
Yeah. I need more time.
Wave A actually got more time than Wave B, because of main stage. They were still setting up for stream.
I think so.
Ooh.
Yeah. There's like a
Mm.
little bit more time. I played during Wave A, and there was a little bit more time to like kind of practice in. Plus, it also paid. The doors open at 11, so like if your team got
Mhm.
there right when it opened, you had an hour to like get set and ready up. So
Ooh,
that
that's
helped a
nice.
lot. I will say that that obviously the intermission period where all the setups were being used for matches made it tricky to like in a sense warm up when bracket started, but like I mean, if you were already locked in the whole time, you were locked in. You were
Yeah.
you didn't have to worry too much.
It's also like all the other times there was almost always a Splatfest going on at the
Yes.
same
Oh my
time. So it's like,
gosh.
yeah, you could warm up in turf war.
Yeah,
Eh,
exactly.
in turf war.
To an
uh,
extent.
no, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. This is just Curse of Land, the Splatfest edition. It happens every time at like most like lands. It's just like, oh, there's like a really huge land going on. This is exactly the date where we're gonna put a Splatfest just to like mess people up.
Yeah.
I swear it
Nintendo's new-
happens.
Having
it's
that gridlock.
Nintendo's strategy to hype up their own tournament manager. They have a plant. There's an industry plant somewhere.
They're in the servers. They know.
Insert that one gif of Nintendo cooking the exact date when to ruin land players' experience.
Oh my gosh. They just know. They just know.
They just know it's crazy.
All right. So probably this is gonna be like one person answers this. But how did you guys end up teaming together? How did Phantom Eels form for Big Dapple? Probably just in general, since you guys said you've played in previous lands together.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, go ahead, Nick. Yeah, go ahead.
so we first started it as a trio. It was me, Cool, and B, and we started playing during Big Dapple 2. But as a squad, we started at Gridlock. So that's a fun fact.
Yeah, I was gonna comment when it came like to forming the pickup. It was just like any other process. We just kind of like were looking for people to go with the land together with, and we just ended up with each other. Sticking with each other is mostly because I think we can vibe well with each other,
Mm-hmm.
and there's quite a bit to learn. For me, this is like my fun fact. It was again like very early into my competitive journey, so this pickup was just like it was quite literally like my first tournament, if I'm to be real. Uh, First tournament doing it on my own, really.
Mm-hmm.
And then during Gridlock, that's like when I joined Jerry Limeade, so that's a pretty big jump. And then now it's like, this is after the disband, so it's been a ride to say the least for me, at least.
Yeah, and then that's awesome. And like that's probably the most important part that a lot of players like when they prepare for like whether it's a online tournament or more importantly like when it comes to lands, right? You want to be able to find players you're going to mesh well with or else you're not going to have a good time. You're going to in a sense be at each other's throats with certain things. So it's good to find a group of players that you mesh well with, you have a good time with. Um and especially when it comes to a land setting where you're going to be seeing each other face to face um, and getting used to that kind of setup because it's so different than when you're playing like at home.
Yeah, it's like we all beat each other up for like VOD replay reviews and like VOD reviews and stuff. But we all take
Understatement.
I definitely feel like we all take criticism really well, and we're all just like, yeah, we're saying this like we're saying this stuff to each other like, hey, that was dumb. that was really stupid. And we're saying that not like to be mean, but because like we want each other to improve and we want to help each other improve. And sometimes we can get silly with that, you know. And yeah, it's like being able to like do that together in VOD review, but still like, you know, see each other in person and like hang out and like have fun and like, you know, play the game. It's good. It's nice.
That's one of my favorite parts about locals too. Is like, or even like majors, is you get to find out play. Well, actually, no. More important than locals, 'cause you get to find out who you could team with in like your area. They're like, it's like you live here.
Yeah, that's also so funny.
But it was just me.
I thought it was just me here in this small little ball of water. You also live here? No way.
Yeah, Nick, when we crashing together, bro.
Oh, I
Oh
don't
my
know,
gosh.
man.
Oh, come on, bro.
That's the fun part too about the locals. You find out who kind of like live close to you, and then if anything outside of locals, that build the opportunity to like hang out outside of like just like going to Splatoon tournaments, just like hanging out, which is like something like just unheard of sometimes in Splatoon.
Yeah, especially for such like, I mean, it doesn't feel small to us, you know, but like
Yeah.
I guess in compared to other like, you know, competitive video game communities, like the Splatoon competitive side is relatively small.
Yeah, when it comes to Splatoon, it's like it is like niche in the grand scheme of things, but to us, it's everything.
Yeah,
Just as a
exactly.
community.
Yeah.
Like
Honestly,
at the last Riptide, like you have that enormous like arena of like Smash, you know, tournament area.
Yeah.
And like, you know, thousands of people.
Yeah.
Maybe not thousands, but like definitely over 1,000, I feel like. And then you have at our like Riptide room, I think it was like, was it over 300 or close to 300 or something like that? And that was like, I think the record for like biggest LAN, I think, at the time for Splatoon.
Yeah. I think I think what's like very notable is when it comes to, like that particular event, the news coverage was like all fucking Smash, and the Splatoon community got Mike Wazowski in the background.
That's a good way of putting it.
That's us, but that's what we love. We're still like very much grassroots in nature.
I mean, we're breaking records too. Like I think LTC already is like currently now the largest Splatoon event ever with its signups, and I'm pretty soon I guarantee Riptide's going to start breaking that number since they allowed signups relatively soon within the past 2 months, I think.
Yeah.
So each major, it's amazing to see that we're having just so many players come and enter. And even if it's not to play, right? It's just to spectate, coming on and see how the scene is. It just view the game, how we all want to see it, and just continue to make it grow, and eventually maybe one day get to numbers that we could see Smash Bros. At, because with each major we are breaking numbers by like, it's not like one or two, it's like 10s, 20s, 30s of players from the last one and from the previous major event. So it's awesome to see that like we're just continuously growing.
Yeah, and it's so great to like even people who aren't competing to like get them into the scene or like at a LAN, because like even if you're not playing, it's so fun. It's such a like wonderful experience to like meet and talk with everyone. Like the energy in the room is always like, even during sets that aren't streamed, like the energy in the room is just crazy. You'll just have like a bunch of people like standing around like a random match setup, and then like something will happen, you'll hear just a bunch of people be like, oh, and then more people will come. It's so fun.
Yes. Every I love when they allow you to do that to it. Like I knew some venues, I think it was, I forget which one last year it was, if it was LTC or Riptide, but like I know the venue was like very small and you had like squeeze through people a lot of times. But it's incredible to have that opportunity happen. Like you mentioned, you could just hear crowds go crazy over a set that's not the stream set, that's really close, and everyone's hyping it up, and it's like, all right, I gotta get on my seat. What's going on over here?
I still remember just seeing like some discussion on on like some sets where it's just like some sets that aren't on stream get like way more attention compared to the ones that are on stream, to the point where it's just like you can hear the crowd like popping off for a completely just unrelated game on
Yes.
stream still.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the beauty of just like the crowd itself.
Yeah, they hype up any set, and like it's fun to see like different players' perspectives too, and like players will choose a side to watch, and they'll be able to see from there like what's happening, and it's like you'll see the crowd like get hype with each other and kind of like be like a quiet hype, like, oh, did you see that? And then as it gets closer, everyone starts getting so much louder for what's happening.
Oh, the worst is when you like know people on both sides, like
Oh
the style
yes.
of setup where you sit like opposite of the other team, and like knowing people on both sides and wanting to root for both of them, but you have to keep awkwardly like going from one side of the crowd, like walking all the way around the outside and going to the
Yeah.
other.
Just do an endless loop until the game's
Yeah.
over, and then just a clap for both sides. Like, yeah, you guys did great.
Yeah.
I would love to see someone just like jokingly, if there's ever like two like particular LAN teams, to just like get like T-shirts for two of them and just kind of swap between whoever's
Oh
winning.
yeah.
Oh my
It'd be really
God.
funny. It'd be really funny if someone did
You
that.
need a sign that has
That
you
would-
flip it both
that would-
sides.
Oh yeah, that'd be great too. Actually, yeah.
Get a whiteboard.
Oh my gosh, yes.
You erase that.
Erase it constantly.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Gotta swap between my goats are washed to oh my goats are popping off.
Yeah, these are
Go-
my guys. This is...
Go team! Exclamation point, and then you're like, go question mark, go team?
Yeah.
Go-
Find a way to be nice about it as you're changing it on the board. So you guys already mentioned it, the previous events where you guys have played, which is Gridlock, which is awesome. So I guess I'll skip over to how was the travel for you guys to the event? Like, how was it? Like a crazy drive? Did you guys take the subways? Like, did you walk if you were close enough? How did you all travel to the event?
So this time was a bit more. Well, this time and next times are going to be a bit more rough for me because, I mean, I used to live like so close to the venue that I just all the other ones I just walked there. It was like a 20-minute walk. But I moved out of state like last year, and so now it's like almost a 4-hour drive
my
for me.
gosh, yeah.
So that was like I had work like very early in the morning after Big Dapple 4, and like we won, and then I was like, all right, well, time to drive 4 hours home and then like get 4 hours of sleep. I ended up just calling off work because I was like, I need to eat. I can't do
Yeah, you
this.
gotta rest up from a full day of just
Yeah. In my defense, I wasn't expecting to be there that long, and like I wasn't expecting to win it like going in.
yeah. I feel that's how it goes for a lot of players. Like their goal is just to do the best, right? And sometimes that just ends up meaning you're all the way into grand finals and going to win the whole event. And I mean that's the fun part about it. It's like this is great, and then when it's over, it's like, damn, I got work in the morning.
Yeah. It's like I wanted to win. I thought about winning. I was trying to win, but when it was actually happening, I was like, wait, what? I was like, holy shit, no way. I was like, what do you mean? Like, wait, huh?
So for me, it was the same old, just a drive there. Last time when it came to Griglock, I took the train. It's not too bad in terms of the train ride. It's just like sometimes it just stalls. Traffic here was not too bad. It's kind of like
Yeah, it's
But,
New York.
yeah. It's a New York era. Traffic happens. Just the state of being. That's how it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, transit wasn't too bad this time. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, no, honestly. So what I did was I took my car and I just drove it out here for around like an hour and a half, and I was like, okay, might as well. Maybe we'll get a spot. Last time, very nice. It was like 11 a.m. Fantastic weather. I just found a spot in like maybe 10 minutes. This time I was NPCing for 40 minutes trying to find a single spot. So it was, I mean, it's good, But the downside is just like that end part, which
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
that's
as
right.
long as it's early enough, it's chill.
Yeah.
You were like right behind me too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, so I was driving
I
behind
found the
B.
spot way faster than you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's such a scammer. How did you find the spot so fast?
I got like real close too.
Dang.
I was like barely a block away. I tried to send you a picture of the map because I saw another spot and I circled it. I was like, check out over here.
I passed it, not even gonna lie.
Oh.
As for me, it takes me 1 hour to get there. I have to take 2 trains. And this time I got there really early to set up the venue and stuff. Like at 8 a.m.
Ah, yes.
Oh, it's the volunteer work to set up all the stations and everything.
Mhm.
Well, at least you got to get in early. So it looks like you all didn't have like terrible travel, which is awesome. Obviously, the parking thing is parking's parking.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to hear that for the most part, like there was no troubles, which is fantastic. I come all the way from New Jersey, so it's like an hour and a half train ride, and then like walking a couple blocks, taking the subway, walking more blocks, and I'm there. It's like altogether 2.5 to a 3 hour like travel situation. And it's like, yeah, I could drive, but it's like
It's so many transfers.
Man.
Yeah, when you're coming from New Jersey.
yeah.
And that train ride's not even that bad compared to what I had to do like during gridlock. That was like a 4-hour train ride for me for some reason.
Oh
Holy
gosh.
Oh
crap.
my god. The worst is when they're delayed too.
gosh.
Because you'll
There
leave
was
like
a lot of delays there,
yeah.
yeah.
You'll leave early, you leave
Bro,
on
I see one delay
time.
on FFing.
I'll never forget Gridlock. Not Gridlock. Big Dapple 3. I left like an extra hour early. I don't know why, but I just had the feeling like I needed to. And then I get to my train station, and it was like, "Hey, this railing is closed. You have to drive 40 minutes out to a different one if you want a chance to catch train." I was like, at that point, I'll just drive to New York. But it's like you can't. It's like so hard to predict that stuff because even if you try to look it up online, like half the time it's not even updated correctly. They just say, "Oh, it might be closed." There's no guarantee. Gotta love the
Joy.
transit. So we did already kind of go over about obviously how the run was. You guys made it to grands. I guess out of curiosity, how many did you guys drop mini game? Like how many games throughout like I guess group stage and I guess the bracket like did you guys drop if any?
There
Uh,
was
3 total.
Yeah, there
Wow,
was
that's awesome.
one set in pools that we lost it like 1-2, and then the only other game we dropped was that one game against it was like the first one against Fuego
Oh,
Calamari.
that's right. Yeah, we took game one off you guys. That's
Yeah.
right. I forget.
By the skin of your teeth, might I add.
Oh no, 100%.
Oh
No,
my
yeah,
god, bro.
yeah. To give like our perspective, like I won't lie, like I think it was just a matter of like, because again we were there like frame one early in the morning, like 11 a.m. in line, ready to go, and I think it was a combination of one, we're tired. We played during Group A, then you had that break period of Group B, and then you have to lock back in during the bracket
Yeah.
stage. And then I think for like, because when we placed third at Big Dapple 3, so we were able to kind of like rest a little more than we actually got to after we played, but it was kind of like having to keep going after that semifinals round. It's like, all right, great. Now there's like also the added stress of, hey, you're in grands, by the way. You're like in potential to take this whole thing. And then there's also the factor of just like, I forget. My brain just like went off the rails what it was, but it's just a combination of just so much happening, and you kind of lose track of like the synergy you built up the entire time. And it's also just like knowing like, oh hey, like we did so good so far, and we've been really good this whole time, especially coming off of like a semi set where you go 3-0. It's like there's just so much going on in your brain. I think you forget the most important part. It's just you gotta chill. And that was like that's always the hardest part whenever even like online tournaments. Like it's so hard like just sometimes to remember like when you're that far, you just gotta like take a second, breathe, communicate well with your teammates, and just remember like it'll be okay. But there's also the fact of like you guys were cracked. So
Don't worry about it. It's there were a lot of comms, like a lot of our comms, if I'm to be real. Half of our comms were just like us let's chill out for a second. Let's
Yeah.
let's
Yeah,
calm it. Let's calm it
yeah.
down. Let's pull it back.
Yeah, bro, I kept saying it. And I was like, bro, we gotta chill. Trust, we're gonna have it.
Yeah.
It definitely happened quite a bit during the
Yeah.
finals. That's for sure. It's just like very funny.
Yeah, I remember that first game too, especially. I was just like, it's fine, we lock in. It's fine. It's fine. We lock in. We lock in. That's
Yeah,
all we gotta do.
that's
We
the
just lock in.
important
It's fine.
part.
We win. We lock in. We win. Easy.
Yeah, and as long as you
Bro was
have
locking in
that.
every single minute.
Leave me alone.
It's like, oh, guys, fuck, guys, I forgot to lock in.
have
Guys, hold on.
to.
I forgot to lock in. Wait.
I have ADHD. I have to lock in or it's over.
At that point, you lock in too much, you drop the keys.
Oh.
Yeah, that's also true. If you're too focused, you're gonna like ignore your teammates' call outs, and it's like, all right, we need like you gotta listen for a sec.
Yeah, the tunnel vision.
Yes. Sometimes like it's so hard that takes so many players by surprise, and
Mhm.
you know it's like, oh no, I'm just really locked in. It's like no, you're like you're too focused on like the wrong parts. Like you gotta like again, some people forget it's the team aspect, right? It's the team aspect that a lot of players forget sometimes, and you guys definitely like had that synergy of just keeping each other in check. And I feel like that's the most important thing when it comes to tournaments is being able to keep each other in check, be able to, like you mentioned earlier, take criticism and build off of it. And you guys did that great. You guys did it fantastic. I mean, we were able to sweep the 4 games in a row and win the whole event, which I remember watching back the stream at the end, and I think some of you guys didn't even know you won, which was so cool.
I was like, so that was my tunnel vision at the end there, because I was like, at the end I was like, I know you guys are gonna vac cheese. I have to play for Crab. I have to fill up that vac as fast as I can with Crab, because that's what happened the first game with Scorch. Is I was like playing for Crab, and I remember I was like, I went a little too far and I was backing up in left pit, and I was like, I'm gonna drop left pit and then jump as I drop there so I can keep the Crab.
Yeah.
And as I'm like going to drop to left pit, I see red just very fast peek around like the side of mid that I did not know he was there, and just like just blast me in the face. I was like, oh, that's not a good time to lose Crab.
Unfortunately, very good game plan. However, leader laser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the fun part about the lands too. You get to fight such interesting comps that aren't always meta because everyone brings something unique to the table. So it's fun to be able to play weapons that like isn't just double Zuka. Here's a pencil for cooler. It's like you get to experiment, have fun.
Yeah. And honestly, that's what did it for us. Thankfully, because Cool was like, let's try this instead. Because I was, oh my god, I was stressing so much like the weeks up to this event. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to like, I gotta learn shot. Like I can't be playing Splash Riz. It's not gonna work this time. I gotta learn shot. We gotta play meta and blah blah blah. And it was like going so terrible. Oh my god, we were all getting so frustrated trying to make that work. And Cool was like, we should play what we're comfortable with playing. And then we did that, and things just kind of started to click in a lot faster.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so much better when you're able to play comfortably with weapons you already like to enjoy to play.
Yeah, it was particularly, I might add, like the day before the event. So.
Yeah, it was that we did not have a scrim, like we didn't really have like a good scrim where we like played, you know, back like to our normal weapons.
Yeah.
And stuff, because I like Nick was playing like Zap and Splash. I was playing Shot. Psyche was playing a lot of Pencil. Cool, you were playing like a lot of Stamper. It just wasn't working for us.
Yeah, and that's okay too. It's really, and that's like one of the most important decisions too. It's like, do you continue to suffer through trying to play close to meta, or do you just have fun? Do you just play what you like to play? And it's always making that important call of like sometimes just taking fun over, you know, what works in this game, and it'll just work out for you.
Yep, I definitely agree. I feel like there's a lot of, I think in terms of comp, it's people kind of hesitate on like experimenting with their favorites or really pushing their favorites to the limit. I feel like some people hesitate on that since the meta is always in discussion. The meta is always so prevalent. It feels like if you want to win, you have to go into the meta. But I feel like people should play with what they're comfortable with, just because if you do that, I feel like the game just becomes a lot easier to manage.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
affects your mental too. If you're having more fun, if you feel if you're playing a weapon that you're really comfortable with, that you like to play, then you don't have to think as much about like where do I want to be with this weapon. Like you already know that. It's like you know it on the back of your hand, so you can focus a lot more on the other things like team cohesion and callouts and comms and coordination and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, easier on the mind. You're able to actually just like not have to stress too much about like, oh, I'm not hitting my shots. I need to be learning this meta weapon or else I'm not gonna be good at the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, it's like good for your morale too.
Yeah. So Big Dapple 4, what were some of your favorite parts of the event?
Mm. For me, and this is always going to be the case, it's always just the people there. Just being able to like meet new faces or just like talk to people I haven't, talked to before. It's always good to have. I'm still like relatively new to the community. Like haven't really involved myself as much, even though I really want to. Mostly due to other life stuff, but it's always just a blast talking to people in the community.
I gotta second that. I'm a very awkward person and very socially anxious person, so I'm very bad at starting and maintaining conversations in person a lot of time. But still, it is just always so nice to like put like a face to the name, like see people that like you just know from playing against them before or like seeing, them play. I don't know, it's just so great to meet everyone and be like, "Oh my god, you're this person, you're this player." It's really great.
Yeah, I'd have to third it as well, but also the energy directed toward the game that I do pour all my hours into, the game that I do love to play and just also love to play competitively as well. I think that that's just something that I really do appreciate going to these events, and also something that I really do like coming into and expecting, because everyone's on the same page instead of everyone being on completely different or like irrelevant pages in comparison to you. So I do really like that part of it.
As for me, I would say hanging out with my friends because I barely hang out with them IRL.
Great answers, honestly, all around. It's like that's so true. Like without the players, these events in general wouldn't be possible. So it's amazing to be able to see so many players come together and all talk about and play and share their interests for a goofy game where squids turn into kids and shoot ink at each other for a living. Like it's it's so goofy, but it's so fun. And like you said, like you've all said, you get to enjoy the energy that's brought to the game. You get to see players that maybe you only talk to online for months on end, players you get to play with only online, and you actually get to meet them in person, and even put like you B mentioned, put faces to the names that you talk to all the time. And like I know like every time I go to a LAN, every time I go to like a major in general, it's like players will come up to me. And I'm like, that voice, I know it. Who are you? I need to know because that voice is in my head. I picture my headset on, looking at Discord. Who are you? And sometimes it's fun to like kind of give yourself like a mental guess, like maybe they're this person. And they say their name, and it's like, oh, you are. And that's just so much fun. It's incredible to be able to enjoy that kind of atmosphere that's not just in a Discord call or in a Twitch chat watching a tournament. It's live. It's there. It's people. It's live reactions. It's enjoyment, and you get to just do what you love. That's not in your own homes. It's under one roof. Um, it's just all playing the same game, and just whether that's to just spectate or you're competing, it's something that's truly unforgettable. It makes so many great memories.
I also really love gauging how like much someone embodies their like Discord PFP. I feel like sometimes I like once I get the name, like the face of the name, I'm just like, yeah, that tracks. That absolutely tracks.
That's right. There's so many people just have such unique profile pictures, and like you look it up later, it's like, yeah, I see it. I see how this came to be. All right, cool. So next question: were there any teams that maybe specifically that you knew were playing, or that you once you actually got to start going against them, that made you a little nervous to go up against?
So okay, me personally, due to my own experience in competitive, the two teams that I had just eyes on constantly, unfortunately weren't part of the event. Though they were at past events, and they were the ones that we lost to in prior events, which were Sonder, which has been rebranded,
That's right.
and
Yes.
I think it was New York Rats. Is that correct? I think it was.
Yes, that was that
Yes.
was with Power
Yeah.
Hunty
Yes.
Zero and who's the fourth?
Was it Arashi? I believe.
That was at 2. I don't think it was
Two.
at.
That was
Oh,
Yeah.
that's that
two,
too.
yeah.
Okay, okay.
For who was at 3? But yes, I know exactly who you're talking about though.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those two teams are always on our radar since they always give us the most amount of trouble, especially with particularly with nerves with everyone else here. I think I've hardened my nerves a little bit more due to other experiences though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten better at that, but I still have a long way to go. I definitely I let my nerves get to me a lot in our set against Glucose, just because I like that was like the two people I know from that team especially are Sencon and Cakes. And I just know them to be very cracked players that I have played against plenty of times already. So
Yeah.
I was like, I need to lock in for this set. But I was also just like, oh man, like, oh, this is gonna be a tough one, isn't it? I just got way too in my head about it, honestly.
Yeah, no, the same. I just was all over the place at the beginning, but then realized just to more so focus on the process on getting from point A to point B, which kind of dissolved the nerves because if there are no mental resources to think about what you're worried about and just think about what you're doing, then it just kind of dissipates into the background.
For me, I would say pizza aficionados. I had so many connections with all farm members in the past. So it's like we're like I even talked to the law, and I asked him, "Were you nervous?" Like he was, because we had that connection back then, and I was like so nervous game 1, but then like game 2 I locked in. Oh, the rest was history.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get that, and I have to agree with all your answers. Like, it's at some point it's hard to at first like get past that fear of like I know these players are good, but like there's so many other factors that can go into it. My favorite is always referencing Popgun when it comes to like low ink, where he's like, you could have an amazing day 1. You have your Wheaties in the morning, you sweep all your group stage, but you like wake up like 1 minute later on day 2 than you usually do, and it's like your whole world crumbles apart for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So
I feel that so hard.
Yeah, it's just I totally get it. And I know for me personally, like I agree. My biggest like just because of like the players I knew was the pizza aficionados team, because like I've known those players, I've seen them play. I remember seeing some of them like practice, whether it was an open or like on someone else's stream, and I'm like I know these players can be really good. So it's like if I ever go against them, the fear is like I gotta lock in. And sometimes it's hard because you get the nerves. Like you think, oh yeah, I'm locked in. No, I'm not. My hands are shaky. I'm missing my shots. Like I'm not locked in. But it's just like I agree. Like at previous events too. Like there's just so many big names that are around this area that are just so good. And when knowing that some of them weren't here, like I remember looking at signups and seeing a lot of those players like weren't available. Zero was in Japan, so I knew Zero wasn't something I had to worry about. but it's just knowing that at future events they might be there. But I feel like these past couple events, besides playing in them a lot, in so many of them, but also just getting to know the players better. It turns from a fear that I could lose them to more of like an energetic, like I want to beat them, and this is a fun rivalry I'm building now. I get to fight these players and have an opportunity to say I'm better than them in this one moment in time.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. For me, it's uh s- since I am still like in the process of meeting so many people in the community, it's just a matter of I think there's just a bit of disconnect when it comes to me, basically, since
Mhm.
I kind of separate myself from the player in the game when it
Yeah.
comes down to like actually, playing the game itself, where I'm not focused on what potential they have. It all comes down to like what's actually going on to the game.
I need that skill. Give it to me. Give that to me. I feel like all Big Dapple, like whenever you say these things, and like especially when we do VOD review, I'm just like my ears get real wide and I'm just like mental notes. I'm just like, yes, I am learning.
Yeah, because the game's totally different. Like the player you are when you're in the middle of a match versus after can be so different. Like obviously, like, and we see it from like top players all the time. Like when they're not in a match, they're chill, they're having a good time. But when they're in the middle of a set, it's like they're locked in. They're like doing whatever they can to, maybe get in the opponent's head, or also just like hyping themselves up more than they would if it was like not playing a game. Uh, they gotta lock themselves in. They gotta get hype. They gotta, remember like this is it. I'm gonna do what I can to win this.
Mm. Yeah, I definitely feel like I've been kind of picking up on that skill when it comes to comms, since I've noticed that a lot of not even like just top level, high level, it's just really keeping the momentum going, and that goes, I think, mostly for the mental, if anything else, because
Yeah.
that determines how much momentum you actually have going into things.
Oh, 100%. I gotta agree with you there. Because if you, like, it's crazy how different, like, just the title of the match you're going into can affect your mental. Like, reading group stage and then reading bracket could just flip a switch, like, of subconsciously in your mind. And it's like, you go from just chill, having a good time, and then it's like, whoa, like, either nerves set in, or you gotta, like, just, you have the excitement of, wow, like, this is going the distance.
Mhm.
So these two next questions kind of merged together. So obviously you guys have been talking about how morale in general has been overall for the entire event. But I guess I'll skip to how was the morale and like emotions when you were getting to grands? Like when you won that semis and you got to stay on stage and get ready for the grand final set. Like what were you guys feeling? What was the emotions going through your minds? What was like maybe the conversations you guys were having?
I can say exactly what I thought, just like the immediate first thought. I was very clear with it. I will not tolerate a second place.
I remember,
I
I
remember
remember
this.
you saying that.
No
too.
way.
I remember you saying that. I was so hype. Oh my gosh, I was just like, I was like, absolutely, we are doing this.
Yeah, I'd say like with all the momentum we had going into it, I was just sure like we had to have this in the bag for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I have after that one set that we lost where I like my nerves really just affected my gameplay and I was just like really just thinking about like my positioning was wrong. I wasn't taking space. I wasn't moving after that and like eating food and then like talking with my wife and like getting like myself collected, making sure I was hydrated and everything. After we like 3-0'd Pizza Aficionados like twice. I respect all those players. I wasn't nervous fighting them this
Mhm.
time because I was like, I cannot be nervous again, but I still have a lot of respect for them as players. They're all really talented players and really cool people. But after beating them like that twice, I was like I felt so powerful. I was like, I cannot be touched right now. My aim, my mechanics, like everything is on point right now. We are all playing like on point. I was like, I feel so undefeatable right now. We could do anything.
I think going into Grands personally, for me, I think my comms are like at the best they could be.
Mhm.
It's something I'm still really working on. My mechanics were okay.
Feel
That's
that.
just me.
Feel that one. Feel that.
My mechanics are definitely iffy. I think that's partly because I'm surprised, like collectively, I have to be honest, that we were able to do that just because we did something we really shouldn't have, which was watch Worlds.
Oh my gosh, that's right. I
Yeah,
keep
honestly.
forgetting Worlds was the night before.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
my God.
right.
So I think part of that affected my own mechanics. I don't think I did poorly. I think it was just very inconsistent game to game.
Yeah, honestly the same. Like mechanics were like some of my mechanics were actually pretty sick. During the pencil game, I had a pencil game in Robo Ramen for zones. That was one of my better games alongside the
Yeah,
Mahi zone
don't forget
game that
about
we
that
had as well.
Mahi jet quad.
Okay. Like that was like 1 in a million. That was one in a while, honestly. So they were gotten sharper as we kept going on in sets and as we kept building on momentum. So therefore, it just kind of transferred onto me, even though I didn't like have it emotionally or say it very clearly. It did actually affect me. So it was very good, honestly. In terms of grants and like knowing if we had this in the bag or not, I definitely knew that we had it at least mostly locked in the bag. I wasn't entirely sure since I didn't want to like dissuade myself into thinking it, but I thought we had it mostly in the bag, especially since we did beat Peach Aficionados for like 3-0 twice, which is wonderful as we did have most of our since we were those maps we were really comfortable with, so we had most of it already figured out beforehand, so I'm glad that we did it and pulled it off that way.
I really liked the maps we played on too.
Besides the one that Pico picked, I think we overall it was a great map
Yeah.
selection.
Oh my God, I'm so
Besides
glad we
that.
did not have to get to that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Bluefin, please.
I was like, when I like got home like after touring, I was just like talking to like my wife. I was just like, can you imagine like how it would feel for anyone to make it to Game 7 in Grands and then lose it all on Bluefin zones? Can you imagine what that would feel like?
Oh my
Oh, bro,
god.
Bluefin Zones is based. What do you mean?
Nah, it's crazy.
No.
I still wonder what I look at that and I'm just like, yeah, that would have sucked. But then I look at Worlds and I'm just like, yeah, no, I don't think I would be able to live with myself if I had to deal with what they had to deal with at Worlds.
That's true too.
Losing to
Yeah.
turf.
It's rough.
Somehow that last Game 7 is like that seems like the least problematic thing compared to the map pool that I saw in Worlds. That was something. That's for sure.
It was a map
Worlds
pool.
is actually so cancerous. Dude, Kaiser had it, bro, honestly. But
Unfortunately, things just weren't meant to be.
Yeah. There was
For a good
the
time.
script switched things around.
Yeah.
Classic jackpot moment.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's awesome to hear though. Like you guys just had great mindsets going into Grands, and that's amazing. And having that lock-in moment for just yourselves knowing that this is it, like we can bring it home. It's amazing. And like I think a lot of players should strive to have that mindset, but I also like what you guys mentioned about like not always putting like 100% like thinking you're gonna have it, because the last thing you want is set up yourself for disappointment. And I think that's what a lot of players sometimes do, even in online tournaments. Like they know they can do it, but they put all their like their mental into I'm gonna win. Then when they don't win, it's like they're just crushed, and that's always the
Yeah.
hardest part.
Yeah, 100%.
Like I know
That
for
happened
yeah,
before.
like for me personally, like from at last Big Dapple, like I placed third, and that's all I wanted at that Big Dapple was just a podium placement. And then I was like, all right, this event, if I'm not winning it, I'm at least getting better than third. And I did exactly that. So like, yeah, it sucked to not win Grands, but also I see improvement. And that's something that like a lot of players sometimes forget to look at. It's just the improvement aspect of it. Like, how did you last time? And if you did way better than last time, you should celebrate that. That's a victory. That's showing that you've been grinding and it's been paying off, and you've been able to put so much work in and get so much further.
Like improvement too is like it's not a linear process. You're not just like, oh, at this point in time I was like this level of good and it was whatever, but then like every like week, every day or whatever, I got a little bit better, a little bit better. It's like it's not a straight line. It doesn't work like that. It's all over the place. It has dips. You will like learn new things and then you'll start playing worse and you're like, why am I playing worse? And you get frustrated, and then maybe you plateau for a while and then all of a sudden you spike up and then you plateau again, you dip again. But it's like, I feel like you keep at it, and it's different for everyone, but month to month, maybe your overall is going to look better over time. You just have to keep. I know personally, like I have specifically been able to notice, just like from like solo queue or just like other things, like I have been able in my time playing comp, been able to point out specific periods of time where I had like big dips where I was like specifically learning and practicing like a lot, just putting a whole lot of information in my head and trying to put it into practice, and I was doing a terrible job at it, but that is part of the process. And then I like shot up and I found like I feel like a new average base skill level for myself, and it's like it just be like that sometimes. So it's like there's a psychology term for it that I forget, but with like losses and winnings and putting that expectation on yourself that, oh, I should be this good at this point because I've done this amount of work for this amount of time, like I should win this, and then you lose and it feels really 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 awful. And then if you win, it maybe doesn't feel as good or exciting because you're like, yes, I should have won this, I was supposed to win this, you know. So I've been trying to really not get too focused on like the losses and the wins, which is, I mean, easier said than done, but at least I feel like at Big Dapple I was able to focus less on like the winning it all part and just like taking it one game at a time, each game at a time, just like whatever, like we're good, like it's fine, we're gonna win it, but like I'm right now I'm focusing on this game that's coming up, and holy shit, we're playing well. And then I was like, wait, we won? Holy shit. What? Huh? I was like, what?
Yes, I'm so glad you said that. Taking one game at a time. That's right. So I always see it all the time. It's like, I'm gonna go to Grands. I'm gonna we got this. This is game one. This is the start of our journey. It's like, oh, 3, you're out of the tournament. Sorry. It's like you gotta focus one game at a time and take it step by step. I'm so glad you mentioned that because it's such an overlooked site when it comes to competitive play.
Especially like with how important morale is. I know for me personally, there's like a delicate balance of like, yeah, like I'm pumped up, I'm gonna win this, but also like, okay, be careful, but like don't be too careful. It's kind of just like I need to just, I don't know, that's why I'm just like lock in. That's why I just say lock in, because I'm like, I don't stop all the like side thoughts right now. Just focus on the current game. You don't have to worry about whether you're gonna win or lose. Just focus on playing.
When it comes to like my thoughts on like the mental, uh, especially in my situation when it comes to comp, it's always been like, I always refer to the chart of we're so back, it's so over. We're so back, it's so over.
I love that. I love that.
That's basically my mental. It's very very particular because it's just for me, I think comp and getting far into it is more of a mentality game, and the willingness to make adjustments that will win you the game at the end of the day. I think that partly comes from me being a flex player, but I just think that is the proper mental to go about, not only through like tournament runs, but just like comp in general, since you will have like very poor performances at times, and you will have like very hot streaks at other times, and it's always just having that humbling experience of I can always do better. can always bounce back from a bad result. It's just like part of the journey.
Not gonna lie, after like losing to glucose, I had to eat a grilled cheese with French fries, and then I was locked in, and then we beat pizza. I was shocked. Once we reached grands. I wasn't even thinking at all about winning or losing. I was head empty.
Head empty, just play Splatoon.
Except Splatoon 3 and breathing.
Yeah. It's like the SpongeBob episode where it's like fine
Yeah.
dining, breathing.
And breathing.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. No, absolutely. That's how you gotta play it sometimes. I feel like also just being able to I love that about the venue that they had like food there, because I feel like a lot of other venues, like even at majors, it's like yeah, they have food, but you have to like pay an arm and a leg for it. And I feel like at Big Dapple, where it's held at Brookland, it's a lot more affordable in a sense. Of course, it's New York prices, so New York's gonna,
Yeah.
it's whatever. But
Yeah.
it's less than what most lands are. Like I know sometimes like an apple is like $6. It's like, bro, what?
Yeah.
It's
Huh?
a fruit.
And it's like a lot of the food will be like, just like soft pretzels or tater tots
Yeah.
and stuff like this is like under a heat lamp
Yes.
for a while, and it's just like,
Yup.
okay,
It's not really
this
like
is
Alright, couple
nutritious.
50.
this is like cafeteria school food.
Yeah, and then
But-
like
that
at
I'm
least here,
paying
it's
10,
like
That's a
15 bucks for.
yeah.
But I thought that was really filling.
But they don't even
Okay,
have
bro.
strawberry milk. They don't even have
They
the
got
nothing. Bro, I was spamming the water. Like I didn't want to pay for any more food.
Yeah, that's right. And at least, and it's right. That's like such a huge factor. It's like most of those foods are like you mentioned, sitting under a lamp. They've been there for who knows how long. Where at least here at the venue, it's like they're cooked right there in the kitchen, and it's like ready to go.
Oh,
And they'll
yeah.
let you know when it's ready. You got a little number stand they give you, and then they'll bring you the food if you're not nearby to get it. And it's so life changing. It really is. No, you can have fresh food just there from
Oh,
their
gosh.
menu.
And
I also highly recommend bringing like a bunch of snacks in your bag or something. Not just for
yes.
yourself, but to share with your teammates or
Yeah.
anyone else too. I brought a bunch of Rice Krispies in my bag.
Oh, it's so smart. That's
I
goated.
think you're forgetting about something else.
Yeah.
What did I forget about?
The hot sauce.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
sorry,
yeah.
what?
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah, okay, no.
that's my
No,
You
special
can
little
chill,
treat.
it's chill,
That's
bro.
my
It's
special
chill.
little treat.
You don't have to
Um,
explain. It's chill. It's chill.
just randomly offering hot sauce packets to anyone.
That's
just
so
willing to take
funny.
them.
I have this thing. I really like tangy and like spicy foods. And I'll always like steal a bunch of hot sauce packets from like Taco Bell or whatever.
Valid.
And
And
I
they're
will
free.
I will eat them like Go-Gurts. I will rip a little hole in them and I will just slurp them up. I did that. I don't think it got caught on the stream camera, but I did do that on the main stage at least twice.
No way. That's amazing. I mean, hey, whatever works, right? You know what? That's the energy boost you need.
This is giving me real shiny vibes, I will say.
With the ranch.
With the ranch, yeah.
Oh my god,
we all
that's right.
we all have our own ranch. We all have our own crutch.
Oh my god, I love that. That's awesome. It's unique. It's fun. You get to enjoy it, and sometimes offer it as confusing as that might be. Sometimes you just accept it because it's a one. It may never happen again. You may never be offered that again.
Something like that's also really good if you need to just like boost morale or break the tension, because like I'm sure to someone else that isn't me, just handing them a Taco Bell sauce packet while they watch me eat one like a Go-Gurt in front of them and be like, huh, you want? I'm sure that might snap someone out of like, oh my god, we just lost that game, instead of just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what is wrong with you?
I mean, like, would I miss being offered another Taco Bell sauce packet again?
It's like, all right,
Highly
fine, more for
doubt
me.
it.
Anyway, lock in. Like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's definitely a reminder of when it comes to like these LAN events, ultimately you are playing with, people that have become your friends and teammates. It's
Yeah.
always good to like vibe with them, as weird as it may be.
You said it nicely.
It's good to
That's
be
a nice
silly.
way of saying it. Oh my gosh, I love that. That's awesome. All right, so you guys do it. You win grand finals. How did you celebrate, if at all?
A long way back home.
I was about to say,
Nice
it's gonna be
long car ride.
everybody's.
4-hour drive.
Oh man, the travel back. It's like the best way of celebrating.
You got no
Look, if-
idea, bro. I was just speeding, low key.
Oh my god. If I knew I was like gonna get back so late that I would end up having to call off work anyway, I would have actually just like stayed and like hung out with whoever was still staying at the venue. But I was like, oh, gotta go.
I feel like it should have been on Saturday instead of a Sunday. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
Saturday
right.
would've been
Yeah,
nice,
it's
yeah.
funny enough.
Mhm.
I actually had some insider info. It was supposed to be the same weekend that the other lands, the locals happened. Sunset Surge, Sea Battle, and New Inkland.
Oh.
But the venue
Oh,
what?
space wasn't available.
unlucky.
That's why.
So
Unlucky.
they had to switch
Unlucky.
it to this past weekend. But I think Saturday had a different event going on. So it had to be on
Oh,
Sunday.
no. I'm
And-
just
Unlucky.
at least glad
Yeah.
it was a weekend. Otherwise, I
Yes.
wouldn't have been able to make it at all. So.
Yeah. Yeah, if it was like a during the some day during the week, I totally feel that there, especially with work. Like it's so hard to like
Yeah.
just go. Especially, of course, also because it's a day during the week where everyone's working, so the traffic's gonna be so much worse. There's gonna be
Yeah, oh
so many
gosh.
more people. Yeah. Well, besides the traveling, I did see the tweets, of course, celebrating the wins. But besides that, anything special? Maybe like special meals or something. I always like ask what people do. I don't remember. I forget who I interviewed for what event it was, but someone said, "Yeah, I went out and got like McDonald's." I was like, "Okay,
Aw.
that's one way."
I think I would just want to get something local, just like a quesadilla or something. That was for the way back home.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
It's
Uh,
based.
on the way back, I also just watched the VOD of the journey. I think that was a celebration.
Oh
there.
yes, getting to
Yeah,
see the pop off
same.
from a different perspective.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to sleep so bad, but I was like eating food, like just eating whatever was in my fridge, and I think it was just instant ramen, honestly. But I was just eating that and watching like the whole VOD back, and just like especially like reading the chat replay and everything. Yeah, that was my celebration. It was really nice, and then I passed absolutely out. I do not remember the rest of the week. Just went by like a blur. I don't. I've slept so much.
just out.
Yeah, no, the week was
Mhm.
super heavy, bro. I slept actually way too much this week. I didn't know it actually
Mm.
took so much out of me. No, I couldn't like it's like a bad thing because I have to get like I have to
Oh.
log in. But I didn't know it took so much out of me.
I didn't
low-key.
sleep enough. I had work had me up so early every day.
Crap.
I think my sleep schedule's been about the same. Which is, poor. It's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to get.
Poor.
But that was
Yeah.
poor before the event, so nothing really good.
The events will do that to you. They turn on
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, whoever's listening, don't do that. Get sleep. And by that, get the amount of sleep that you usually do that you feel like you need, and not too much or too little, because then you will mess up your internal body clock, and then your head will be weird. Because if I sleep too much before an event, I just like, no matter what I do, like I'll just feel groggy all day. But
Mhm.
also vice versa, if I'm like too excited and I don't sleep at all, or like way too little, then I'm like, okay, we are running on fumes. Yeah.
Make a mental note for everyone listening. Do not watch Worlds prior to a major event.
That's what I was
Don't
about to
stay
say.
up to watch the World Championship. Wait till the morning.
Hey, wait until after you've gone
Yeah.
to bed.
Sleep well, eat some good food, and have a good time. The key factors when it comes
Yeah.
to an event.
Take care of yourself.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, big question. Gridlock 2024. Are y'all going and are y'all teaming together?
I'm planning on going.
The same.
Yeah, I think I'll be going as well. I probably will be looking a little bit different. I'm gonna see if I can do something special for the event, but we'll see.
Special.
Special, ooh.
Ooh, I love specials. Something to look
Okay.
forward to.
This is gonna be my last event to participate in.
Oh, what?
For
Oh.
Gridlock, yeah. I want to give more teams and more people to have that experience to be in a LAN because some people didn't
Oh,
have that experience.
That's
the
right.
limited, the
Yes.
limited space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for those
Yeah,
who may be
go.
watching who don't know, Big Dapple 4 was originally only a 16 team cap, and they narrowly pushed it to 20 after just so many signups. And with Gridlock being a 32 team cap, I have no doubt it's going to reach that so quickly.
It's gonna get like that old image of like the Counter-Strike, LAN parties where we just start duct taping people to the ceiling.
Oh my god.
You guys know the one I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
so,
Okay,
yes,
alright,
yes,
alright.
yeah.
I wanted to make sure you guys didn't think I was just saying something weird.
No. I'm pretty sure, like, since we're still tuned just as grassroots, we know that type
Okay.
of environment for sure.
Okay, alright.
Very scuffed setups. We get it.
Yeah, truly never know. Well, that's amazing. I know I do plan to go myself, so I can't wait to see all of you there. It's gonna be so much fun, so good. 2-day event, so there's plenty of time to not only just play, but actually enjoy the venue, talk to more players, and even just hang out and just enjoy the event as a whole. It is going to be held in July for those that are watching, so keep an eye out for that. Of course, I do believe Metro Inc. I think they're cooking up some videos. I want to say for announcements for it to like promote it, so that should be really cool to see soon. So definitely keep an eye out for that. So I think that concludes most of the questions had for this episode. So I do want to give you all this opportunity, this time to say what you'd like, any final messages, shout out who you want to shout out yourselves, thank who you want to thank. The floor is all yours. Y'all feel free.
I guess I will start. um, so I already done the shout out for my prior team, Cherry Limeade. Uh, I will thank them endlessly for giving me the opportunity to be on that team for the brief amount of time that I was on. It has really opened my mind up to the comp community and just given me so many opportunities to meet and know so many people in the community. And I wasn't able to do it on stream because I just kind of slipped my mind, but I did dedicate the win to them, and I hope that in the future I'll be able to do it some more as well. And when it comes to other stuff, I am trying to become a content creator, if that makes any sort of sense. So I have plenty of socials that people can follow if they're interested in that, or just reach out to me if anything happens.
I'll go next then. Yeah. Shout out to my wife for cheering me on the whole time from home. Thank you, Sid. And also my teammates, Rob and Noel and Abby for watching and cheer. I saw you guys in the chat all the time. There's just like, oh my god, so many like people and friends and recognizable names and everything in like the Twitch chat. Thank everybody for cheering us on. It was really great. And yeah, and shout out to everyone at like the Big Dapple staff. You guys like killed it. Yeah, you could find me on Twitter, feral underscore B33. Yeah.
I guess I'll go next then. I want to shout out everyone at Big Dapple. Amazing community, honestly. I don't think this event would survive without him, honestly, and ourselves as well. I'm gonna thank our team as well, because I was also just to pick up after the, what is it, this third Dapple, right? After no, the second Dapple. After the second Dapple, I was just to pick up to the team because I don't know what happened to the fourth, but I was a replacement for afterward. So I'm glad that I had the chance to be on this team as well. And overall, another shout out to Volatile Radiance, the Hofstra team that I'm still paired up with. And I'm glad that they showed their support. They showed their support through Discord and also through the Twitch chat. Saw them all there. So I'm very happy for it. But yeah.
Don't worry, guys. I'm gonna go to every Metro Inc. Event. I'm just not gonna participate. I'm just gonna take a break for like 1 or 2 year maybe. But yeah, I want to give a shout out to my dog.
Let's go. Let's dog
Let's go.
support.
Let's
Let's
go.
Huge shout out.
The
MVP.
law. Yeah.
MVP for real, for real.
MVP.
No, the law's a huge shout out, bro. Love the
Most,
homie.
most value puppered.
Hunty, Sig, Milana, Pico, Power, everyone in the
bro's,
Metro Inc.
bro's going after all of them.
Yeah.
There's a call out post on the podcast.
Call it to the EU.
I'm coming for you, Gridlock. I'm coming for you there.
But yeah, that's it.
Awesome. That's amazing. Just the support overall that everyone was able to get is just it's awesome. I love to hear it, and I love the shout outs and just the individuals that and each other that you all of course shout out and thank each other for, because without each other and without our amazing TOs and staff and without fellow players, this event wouldn't have at all just been possible. So with that being said, I love to always say, with Metro Inc. and their Big Dapple and Gridlock events, no one does it like New York. That's going to do it for this episode of the Cactus Patch. I want to again thank everyone from Phantom Eels for coming on out and being on this episode and talking about their amazing win this weekend. Once again, congrats to them. That's going to, again, do it for us here. My name was Cactus. This was Phantom Eels, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Cactus Patch. Bye.
Thank
See
you for
ya.
having us.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.